Hello everybody, it's Elena. I want to tell you just at the beginning of the video that this video may be very long, so you know it and you decide whether to watch it, to skip some parts of it or not to watch it at all. In theory, this would be a video response for the challenge Shaz is hosting. Her channel is Crafted Seasons, to celebrate her 100 subbies. She asked to make a small bag, and the style could be whatever you wanted to. I decided to make a pouch because I was inspired by this big beautiful vintage doily. So a hand sewn all around the doily, a circle made with this gorgeous coffee colored lace. It shows through the doily, and when I sewn it, I left the scallops of the doily free so I could thread the ribbon to close the pouch through the loops, and I added a couple of resin roses on each side of the ribbon to prevent it from slipping in when the pouch is open. All around I glued this lovely scalloped gathered white trim. It is white, but it is not a stark white, I mean a nice white. It is quite veering on ivory. So this is my pouch, and yes, maybe you've noticed it. As soon as I finished it, I opened it to see everything was alright, and I realized I made a pouch which could turn into a bonnet. And well, I'm giggling because yeah, it's incredible. I hadn't thought about it before, I'm sorry. But in any case, just think, this is a pouch actually, and you can put flowers or embellishment or ribbons or what you want inside. Along with this, I made a very simple card. I've used this image from paper pad with flowers, and it's quite shabby chic as an image, and I edged one side with this delicate trim, added flat back pearls on the other three sides, some pieces, some flowers from a wedding applique, a paper rose, and just a little dove on top of the cluster of flowers on the paper. I will write a note in, and so this is my entry. Then I thought to add some happy mail to my entry, and I make something I hope Shaz finds useful. So first of all, let me show the little bit and bobs I made. I made this dangle charm, and this came with a garment, the kind of clothes you buy at the Chinese store. They always have something attached. And then I added the beautiful heart, enameled heart that was in my winning, and was it belonged to Angie Paisy. And then I created the dangle with chains and pearls, crystals. This is a big pearl, some crystal, a little, how is it called? I will never remember, jingle something. I will never remember the name of that thing. And the butterfly, and a little embellishment I bought. and I secured it with this safety pin on top of this paper, just on this part which is not to be used, and I fasten it there so Shaz can see where it starts, where it ends, because I know they tend to get all entangled, and she can use the sheet of paper which is of the same line of the one I've used in the card. Then I made some flowers, and here they are. One is shabby shabby. I've used some parts of a vintage table runner. You see the parts here. I added some tulle here and there. Used the vintage doily on top, and this vintage pearl with some bronze brass. No, it's bronze all around. It was an old earring, and on the back I just added a felt circle. Then I made this one. This is huge. I know she works sometimes with white and silver. This is huge, so please, if it is too big, Shaz, just trim it around and turn it into the size you want. I've used this shiny material, and I just added these 2 strings of blinks and a little heart applique, and I added 3 crystal pieces, and this is it. I didn't want to overdo because it is already very shiny. Excuse me. Then I made this very simple one. It is a small pink flower. I gathered some trim and just cut a flower from an applique, wedding applique, and put it on the center. There's some felt on the back too. And this is made with a particular fabric. It's a bedspread I bought exactly for crafting, because I bought it at IKEA, and it was really huge and cheap. Excuse me. Although it's cotton, it's like a cheesecloth cotton. It's already all gathered, so I put it all around this doily, and I just added this big resin rose in the center. And then I made 2 rolled roses. One is this color. It's like burgundy, I think, and I added pink, a pearlescent pink pearl in the center. The other one is this beautiful yellow rose, and I've used a beautiful ribbon that Esme sent me in our Christmas swap, and I made some stick pins. I made, how many of them? There are 5. So one is some shades of purple. They are all made with glass, and all the pearls I've used are made of glass, and so are the pieces in the center. I've used the long one I found in the last kit I bought from Fiona. I didn't have long stick pins before. They already have this pearl as a head, and here it goes. Then the second one, I just added a little silver butterfly on top, and it's all made with pearls and crystal, and this kind of pearls with they are like clay pearls with some rhinestones inside. Then there's a clear one with 2 pieces of crystal like wings and 2 bead caps. and this one, there are the bead caps, two big pearls, and this beautiful faceted piece of glass. It's a bead actually. It's a dark blue, dark purple, something in between. And the last one is teal. The stick pin had this, sorry, it was out of camera. So the stick pin has this head, and I added just two crystals and a piece of a glass bead, all faceted in a teal color. So these are the things I made for her that could be useful in her projects. I made another thing, and it will go in the pouch / bonnet along with the flowers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, it will go here too, and it is a mini doily book. In the last batch of doilies I bought from Fiona, there were 8 doilies of the very same shape and size, and they were perfect for a little doily book, because I could make every page by gluing together 2 of them. So I made 4 pages, and of course, being them very tiny, I couldn't I had to build the little doily book in a different way, rather than the one I made time ago. So I couldn't insert parts, little pieces of felt. I had to thread some golden rope to keep the pages all together. Then I cut the tails and added this 4 oval pearls as a spine, and also, I think it was too far away, so I added for the spine I added this piece of vintage lace just to cover the knot of the rope, and then 4 oval pearls just to give some interest. So this is the spine, I couldn't do otherwise. And so this is the first page, and I realized it's, for me at least, it's more difficult to make a tiny doily book than a regular size one. I've heard another crafter saying that, but I don't remember who she was. Anyway, it was much fun to make. So for the first page I cut some trim, like 4 parts that looked like flowers, and I added them all around. In the center I placed this gorgeous vintage cabochon with the image of this lovely lady, added 4 big pearls, a little bow, and each part of the trim has a little resin flower with a rhinestone in the center. And this thing is a piece of crystal. It is cut in 2, not because it's broken, but because it's kept together by some wire. I bought it like this. Then we have here on the second page, I just cut some pieces of a wedding applique and rearranged them this way, and you have a leaf sticking out. This page has an image I printed out from Pinterest, of course in the smallest possible size. It is surrounded by 2 pieces of this elasticated trim, and on the bottom there are some dangles. Well, actually every page, as you have seen, have dangles, different kind of dangles, and in here I put a piece from another trim and I added a flat back pearl on this part and on this part. I added just here a leaf kept in place by this heart charm. So the next page, here there's also, I think it's here, no, in the other one. So the next page has this beautiful little cameo on top of 4 pieces of this brown delicate trim you've seen in other projects by me, and on the bottom I added some more dangles, and I framed the cameo with this string of pearls, and this is it. Actually, this is my favorite page. The other page is a tiny pocket page. I created this pocket page with a piece of genuine vintage doily, half of it. Then I added this piece of genuine vintage lace, this little part of the trim on top, a flat back resin sort of flowers, then a tiny leaf going upward with some I added some pearls in the center of the leaf, and here I added just a piece of a beautiful excuse me, beautiful tulle with this gorgeous hem, and in the center here I added a string of pearls just to add some interest to all the dangles there are here and there. Then this page is a white page. I added 2 pieces from a wedding applique and then a little piece of a garland of pearls, a big pearl in the center, and 2 little flowers I cut from another trim. And I added in the center a little, it's a seed bead, 2 seed beads that match the very fine trim I put all around the doily. And this is another pocket page. I built it with some vintage lace, and I added on top, I cut the last piece of this gorgeous trim I had, and it was a grape with a couple, one on one side, one on the other, of leaves. So a part of the leaves is here, the other part is there, and there's the grape here. And then we have the final page. I had to put a little bead in place. Okay, the final page is a big flower page. I put an applique in white and peach color on the doily. Then in the center I added this resin piece, and all around I glued some seed beads in this color. It is like a dark champagne color, and each petal of the flower has another little pearl I glued on. So this is, let me tie it. I added some ribbon to tie it, and I thought it was cute, and I like how it turned out. Okay, this is the tiny doily book. It will go here with the rest. The last thing I made is a pocket folder. I built it up with piqué, and inside I added a layer, well, I'll show you later, I added a layer of vintage lace with some embroidery. It comes from a vintage curtain. or bedspread maybe, and also some cotton, a big napkin. So let's start from the outside. I've used this gorgeous, I put all over the folder, this gorgeous lace, which has a raised pattern, and both colors on the front. I mean, there are only the cream, white, and just a touch of pink. So I've used this beautiful lace, and all the pearls you see, I've added them individually just because I love doing that, and they give more interest, even though the lace was gorgeous by itself. So you can see the small one, the big ones. On the sides I put this beautiful gathered very light pink trim down here and on the other side. But before adding everything, I layered 4 or 5 dangle trims in white and cream. You can see them all layered here, and I left the scallops of the lace, of the textured lace, to be seen. I printed out from Pinterest the image of this gorgeous lady. The image is sepia and dark grey, it's not exactly black. I embellished it by adding this necklace made from a string of AB clear beads, and I cut 2 of the same beads to make her earrings. Some flowers in her hair. There are 2 of the tiny flowers, the filler flowers, and she holds a bouquet. So I added, as it was sepia and dark grey too, I added this beautiful mulberry gardenia. And I don't go through all the details. You can see different trims here and there, some teardrop pearl trim on both sides, on the front and on the back, and just added this, which is beautiful. I mean, it gives more and more interest to the folder. It is an applique, beaded and sequined applique, and I added it on top of the other layer of lace I put, starting roughly, down the center of the folder. I added this beautiful white lace. They are flowers and dangles, and in each flower I added resin and rhinestone flower in the center of each one, and in the center of the in the center but up every leaf I added this resin flowers, just to embellish it a little bit. But really I love this applique. It came like this, and there are so many sequins and pearls, and it really gives an elegant touch. The inside is white, a touch of cream and pink, and I created the pocket so first of all I covered all the inside with this vintage embroidered lace, which is a very pale beige color, and then I created 2 pockets. I hand stitched them on the side and on the bottom using a beautiful cotton napkin. Actually, I think you can see it here, the white cotton, and since it had it was embroidery, I think it's called Battenborg embroidery, but I'm not sure. I left the corner to be seen, and I added on top of it this gorgeous lace. This was given to me by my lovely friend Sue Tanzi, and it is net with this gorgeous embroidery. It is a champagne gold, pink and white, and this lace alone, it's like tulle, this lace alone would have made the inside gorgeous. And of course I didn't cover this part because there was the embroidering on, and it is really wonderful. Look at the leaves. I love it. And for the pocket I finished them off with this trim all around, all along the central piece, the central part. I added here and there some white flower trim, and on top of each part I put this beautiful rose with a pearl in the center and some dangles. It is a strip of rosettes. And the last thing I did was lining everything, the sides, parts of the sides and the top, with the beautiful gathered white scalloped trim I've used for the pouch too. And I think, well, I added this one, this white one in the center, just to mark the pages, and on the top, on the bottom corners, I gathered 2 pieces of taupe lace and just added them like this. And in the center I've added a huge tassel. I didn't make it. I bought it at a DIY store, and these things are meant for curtains used in the house. So this is my folder, and I will put in the paper, sorry, with the dangle trim. It doesn't get caught because the inside is just cotton. And also the card I made. Well, I think I will add the stick pins here, of course, because I can't put them like that. They will go everywhere. So, this is it. I thank you very much for watching. I thank you very much those who watched the whole video. And I really hope Shaz likes what I made for her. It was a really pleasure for me. And have a wonderful day. Bye bye.